Hey y'all, it's SJ here. We are continuing our Read with SJ series. As you can see, I'm making my coffee so you guys can follow along with me. Last time we read chapters 1 through 3, and today we're diving into chapters 4 through 6. Let's get cozy, grab a blanket and a drink, and some snacks so we can start reading. Did her dad or her dad's side of the family even like her? For chapter 4, basically is them trying to figure out if the letter is real. At the end, they believe it's really from her mom. I think Mackenzie has a crush on EJ, but I don't think she's really trying to take it there since they're best friends. Basically, Mackenzie wrote in a writing contest. Her mom read it, and her mom was like, you have a long way to go, sweetie.
And
She proved her mom wrong because she actually won first place in that writing contest. Her teacher told her she has like a bright future ahead of her. And her mom basically gave her like this like condescending smile, but like online she basically praised her instead of doing that in person. She talked about how her mom and dad relationship is a little bit, how it was complicated. She was watching him like a hawk. She kind of like wrote things for him, like certain things for him to say. The dad thinks she's a bitch. The dad and the dad side of the family, it says my mom was one, a bitch as per the dad side of the family, two, complicated as per my father, so I got that wrong. It was just the dad side of the family. Brilliant genius as per the literary world, and for queen per her fans. So that's why I was like, damn, does anybody even really like the mom? Like, why is she such a bitch? Her daughter was like, yeah, she's a complicated bitch, but with a brilliant talent and a sweet personality in public. It gives two-faced. They also talked about how Mackenzie's dad met with the dude. You know, they had that shady conversation. I also talked about that mystery lady that her mom wrote in that the first letter. She mentioned that in chapter 4 too. She's also curious about who that lady is. Something we need to figure out as well. EJ don't think she's really nobody. Obviously she is somebody if she mentioned her in that letter. She also brought up about how the boys did something to her mom. She think that plays a part in it as well. So yeah, let's move on to chapter 5. little bit towards the end. Okay, so chapter 5 is basically, we got a little backstory about EJ a little bit. They met at university at a party, then they became friends. He was a nerd. She describes herself as a rebel. He does a lot of cybersecurity and coding. He goes to a lot of conferences and conventions. His parents are scientists. He always is at Mackenzie's house for like holidays and big family gathering. He works a lot. He comes around like less and less, and she kind of feels a little lonely without him there. Started to go back in the house and was like, oh, if EJ was still here, we could be drinking. She was like, you know what, I don't really drink that much. And she was like, in that letter, I think Dad started drinking around my age. So she was like, nope, not gonna happen. I ain't gonna be like my dad. Then she saw, I think her name, I want to say her name was Laima Roth. That's basically her mom's agent. She can't stand that lady. Then after she grabbed her pastries, she walked down the hallway. Her office became like the public domain for people to go in to talk, which is odd because nobody would go in, her mom's office anyway. Her dad and her grandma in there talking. I don't want to get the conversation messed up. Let me find it. He was like, what did you want me to do, Mom? She was the one who had it under control. He was her problem. And then the grandma laughed after she was talking about, oh, I'm sure she justified it by calling it stress relief. Homegirl is dead and she talking about some justified as stress relief is crazy. It's like the conversation is odd, just like how her dad had that conversation with that man at the funeral. The grandma was like, we need to figure this out. So Mackenzie was like, figure what out? I thought all this was figured out a long time ago. She brought up the detective. Do you know who came to me again? The detective. The detective does not believe that it was a car accident. He believes it's more than that. Just like I believe it's more than that. Kenzie, when she heard that, she was just shocked. Like, this is my first time ever hearing about this. So I really think Mackenzie is probably going to really go out her way and solve this case. It just seems like the family is just keeping secrets and not telling nobody anything. So I really think that's why her mom has been sending her them letters, because she know Mackenzie is going to figure it out. I'm telling you, he said she had it coming for years. So that's why I'm like, it don't seem like nobody like her. She had it coming for years. I hope y'all can see that. But this is crazy. This is taking a turn. All right, let's move on to chapter 6. Were tasked with an assignment where they had to write an essay about a viral phenomenon. Students write on pieces of paper just one thing, but they had to be very specific. He collected all the pieces of paper. He picked one out. The one that he picked was a book that Mackenzie's mom wrote. It was Lies, and revenge. Yep, lies, and revenge. And there's this boy named Alex that's in her class. He's a senator's son, and basically pointed out that she was Elizabeth's daughter. She didn't want him to do that, but he basically stood up and, well, we have her daughter in the class, just want to do some transparency, FYI. I'm like, he just seems annoying. The professor was like, well, since you have like connection to her because you know that's her mom, you can skip out on the essay and maybe just talk about like what inspired her mom's books. So when he read her essay, he was like, no wonder if you always had a great sense of words, it must be from your mother. And she hates being compared to her mother because they always think she got it from her mom. She's always trying to prove herself to her mom. It was like she always spent just less and less time with her and spent more time with her fans. She really doesn't know what happened as she was growing up. Something's changed with their relationship, but as she got into university, her love for writing just grew more and more, and she just felt like her mom just distanced herself from her. So I think that'll be today's video. We wrapped up chapters 4 through 6, and we will pick back up on chapter 7 next Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!